Hello, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So, welcome. See if anybody's going to come in this morning. Just thought I'd come in for a brief moment here. Hello, Charlene. Welcome. I don't know. That song just sort of flows. Whew, don't know about all of you, but I woke up with a little bit of anxiety this morning, and it was like, whoa, could really feel it. So, let's pull up some charts here and see what's going on. I know the moon is getting very close to lovely old Mars. Dear old Mars, gotta love that. And I think that square with Venus and Jupiter is quite bringing in some intensity along the way as well. So as I'm just started taking a look. Yeah, so the moon's coming up and snuggling up to Mars just now, and is going to be meeting up with the North Node probably later on today into tomorrow. So that's going to bring up a little bit of anxiousness because the moon is coming in with what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? What's all of this. Blah 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 coming in of that feeling, especially with Libra. Libras don't like silence. Most air signs don't like silence. They don't like, they usually have something going on in the background and stuff. They're, the- you know, it- to put them on a silent retreat is something would be a very difficult thing for a true air sign, um, because they wouldn't be able to be quiet. It would be a challenge. It would be a great challenge for them. And the other part with that Venus coming into that square with Jupiter, and she will be squaring on as she continues on her journey with Uranus. It's about what kind of changes you want to make within your world, and sometimes you're going to have an argument with yourself of the kind of changes you want to make, and it feels very frustrating and very overwhelming. And as the sun is coming up and opposing Neptune. So it's our spirituality and standing within our spirituality. What is your spirituality? What is your, and what is the illusions that are coming in? I mean, we're seeing this, we're seeing all the craziness coming out over what and the elixir. So we're seeing a lot of, you know, things coming in and the same kind of narrative and the words that they're using. And it's very important to listen to the words. One of the things that I've been learning and doing PDFs and stuff is learning keywords. What are the keywords that are going to draw people in? So looking at those keywords. So when you're listening to a narrative, when you're listening to the things that people are saying, what are the keywords that are drawing you in? What are they saying? And there's usually a few words, especially within the news, that they are repeating, and you start to sort of pick them up, and those are the ones that are sometimes trigger words for people. And looking at those trigger words, especially since you know Mercury is going forward, it's going back over its shadow, but as it's going over its shadow as well, that Mercury energy has to go all the way through Virgo and get into Libra. I mean, he is home, but sometimes when you're home, sometimes in your home spot, yeah, you love being home and you love the energy of being home, but sometimes you just want to get the fuck out. I've been here too long. I need to get out of this house. And I think with the anxiety that comes with Mercury is like, I need to get out of here. I need to, I want to get moving here. And that can bring in some frustrations because you're getting lost maybe in the illusions of the way that you want it to look and how you want it to look. And Mercury is trining over to Jupiter, so he wants to make something beautiful and wonderful. He wants to really bring that together, but still there's that frustrating part, especially with Venus saying, you know, it, Jupiter's in her house, like, and it's not really a mutual reception, and where they really want to get up and switch because it's where you can get to that pickiness and overwhelmness with it all. So you really have to really watch yourself. And I think that's where a lot of the anxiety and stuff was coming in for me today so far this morning. It's kind of easing up. And I know I'm like, I got to get out of the house. I got to do something different. And what is that I want to do? So take Mateus maybe to a different park because he's here with us again today. So things like that are very important to do, especially today. I mean, I could sit here on the computer and work on different digital things that I have that I want to work on. A couple of them that I want to do, especially with Maybon coming in. I want to do up a PDF on for people to download so that they could utilize a PDF to help them with rituals and recipes and different things that you want to create within the equinox, and also doing one for Sowean. And what are the rituals and the connections that you want to create with your ancestors, right? Um, those are the types of things I want to create on my Etsy shop, and so that people can purchase them, download them, and then they have them, kind of thing. So doing that, I could sit here and like, because I want to do a Shopify also, and looking at creating a Shopify shop because then the Shopify shop can be connected. But doing the digital downloads because it's easy, it's less expensive for a lot of people, and what we are wanting to create and do and stuff like that. So, I mean, the thing is, I could sit there and do that today and fumble over it, or let's get out. Let's get out of the house. Let's go do something different. Changing up that vibration, changing up that energy is a very positive thing to do today because that's where you're going to get your creative juices going. And so I'm going to just change it on to a different because there's a lovely guy I've been following on YouTube. And I've been following him for quite some time. And his name is Jacob Todson. Now, Jacob Todson is he is a pagan Celtic. He's been traveling all over. He sold all his stuff to do the traveling that he's done, and he's been going to ancient sites, especially in throughout Norway and um, Sweden and Denmark and places like that. Right now, he's in Scotland, but he's talking about a standing stone, like it's an ancient stone that's been in Scotland, and not too many people know about it. But I found it kind of interesting because um, he was talking. Anyways, I'm going to show you the video. I can't play too long because I um, don't want YouTube to nip me on this. So, because you know how YouTube is. But I want to share his site because I think it'd be wonderful if you guys start following him too, because he's coming in with some really good information and some of the things that he wants to do. Um, so there we go. I'm going to change you around. Come with me, my little ones. So there it is. So this is the
Here we have just a random letter V and then a divot where something else used to be. Look at me, Ryan. There's also what appear to be these little divots. This could be natural, just from rain and the type of rock it is, but it could also be cut marks. Other than that, it's pretty. I mean, it's just really cool. This area right here is just a really pretty area with the view. This is mainland Scotland right there. But yeah, I really just wanted to kind of record this and share it with you because otherwise I'm worried stories like this will get forgotten.
Now, what I love about that is that that's what he does. He goes around, he records different parts of history, records different things, and he goes to these sites. And he's not a historian or anything, but he wants to gain knowledge and he wants to bring things together. Him and a few other pagans have written a book, and that's what I love. Like seeing the things that he does gives me hope for the pagan society, because sometimes when you're seeing where he's coming in with great generosity and peace. Now they're looking at, and they started a GoFundMe page, and they are looking at wanting to set up a pagan site to buy land, to do rituals, to do things, to have gatherings, and even make a place where eventually maybe even do some farming and stuff like that on it. When you see a community come together, I'm just like, man, that's exactly where the energies are. That's, where spirit wants to guide us to create communities, and being able to come together and record it, and recording a lot of what we're doing, both physically on paper and electronically, is an important piece, because we are recording history in such a new way. Like, as much as the powers that be are trying to manipulate and change the way history is, there is so much content and information that's coming out that's showing you what it actually is. And I love it when I see things like this, because it's like, yeah, that's so cool. That is so beautiful when you start to connect with it and see it. And for myself, I mean, gardening is one aspect. Animals are a different one. I'm not really one who, yes, I like animals and stuff, but taking care of the chickens probably wouldn't be my thing. But planting, working in the garden and stuff, you know, being able to put your energy into that is something I believe is a beautiful connection that we all need to start looking at. So, anyways, for today, let me pull out the tarot cards, and let's just pull some cards out. I think I'm going to pull out some Colette cards as well, and for the energies of the weekend. And if you're wanting to book a reading, definitely go to maryjunetracy.com, and you'll see my readings and offerings, and you can book for a reading. So let me know if that's what you're wanting to do. Plus, I have October 21st and 22nd, the the vision board virtual retreat, and I posted a little tidbit of that, um, which is kind of cool. And let me just show you that what I posted. Can I? Not sure. Oh no. Do I want to go in there? Maybe. I posted a little bit of the book that I have sorry, um, created in a 30-second video. Anyways, okay, hold on, stop it. So this is what I created, and oh no. So what I created was a booklet. So I'm going to share this with you. So here's a little booklet that I created, and it's about 80 pages so far. But just to show you some of the things that you will be receiving and will be going through on that visual retreat, and all the areas that we are going to be connecting with. Now, not everything you'll be able to finish off on the 2 days. That's why this booklet is going to be helpful as we carry on into the last quarter of this year and into 2024. So this booklet is going to be helping us to set our intentions on the type of life that we are wanting to create and what we want to uh, bring forth into our world. And I think that's going to be very important in the next. Thank you. Thanks, Lexi. And in especially as we're entering 2024. All the crazy hysteria and drama and propaganda is a buildup to what is going to start to explode. And I'm using the word explode in 2024, 2025, and to 2026. So doing a lifestyle book, and that's what I'm calling it because it's not done yet. That's only sort of going through the 80 is the first part of it. It's probably going to be about, I'm going to say 160 pages altogether, this PDF, but it is to create and connect what it is that you are wanting to have in your life and what substantials that you want to have in your life, because it's so important to make sure that you are looking at other ways of creating income, other ways of doing what you love to do, and sustaining that in many ways. As you're seeing the old new narrative come forward, and the promotions that are being forced upon us again, or you're trying to put that upon us, it's scary. So we have to start thinking of ways to do things and how to create that abundance, because it's going to be important for you to have some sort of sustainable flow of income as we go into the coming months and the coming years. And it is I'm stressing that because we're going to start feeling it. Now, I've started, again, today, scroll through Facebook quickly today. And again, seeing people saying, oh my God, prices are so high. Our PM wants to blame the grocery stores for making a profit. But I think about it. Isn't that why they're a corporation? I mean, if you open a store, you want to open a store to make money. And I worked in a grocery store for a short time, and there's a lot of costs that come into it. And a lot of the costs come in through the delivery. And of course, different products will pay, premium money in a grocery store to have their product at a certain eye level. That's why the cheap products, like the no-name brands and stuff, are usually at the bottom, because people don't look down below. The top name brands are usually in a spot where you can see them, because they pay premium prices for that. And in order, with different promotions and things like that, and end caps and stuff like that, things are done for a certain reason, right? They just don't willy-nilly do it. It comes down through a head office and saying, this is what we want, this is how we want it, because they know they just got paid $50,000 to have it in each store, or however much they pay, I don't know. But we do that in order to create profit. And that's part of, yes, there is skyrocketing prices and everything else. But what else is going in there that is creating those skyrocketing prices? And that's why you have to look at what is it that, and this is how division comes in. Well, look at them, they're making money. Look at you, you're poor. You can't, you poor little thing. Well, trust in me, I'm the government. I will make sure that this is not going to happen. I'm going to go after the big corporation. I'm going to go after them for you. Think about that. Think about how that promotion is, how they are trying to manipulate. And that's how you get Marxism, and that's how you get socialism. Instead of saying, well, great, isn't that wonderful? Now, what other expenses are coming into that are creating it? Is it the carbon tax? Is that a piece to it? How much is our gas? How much does it take to transport our goods? What about the farmers? Are the farmers getting paid what they are needing to create the food that they are getting? Or are they having to hike the prices up because of the seed and everything else that they have to use? There's so many pieces to this puzzle, right? That we really can't, you just really have to take a step back in order to understand it more. And that's with a lot of things. That's with everything. Even when I was watching, there's a young gentleman that goes around and he works with a service here in Calgary, and he goes around at night to find homeless people and stuff like that. And I mean, this is a guy, like, there's a young boy, just a young boy sleeping on the streets. He had no shoes. Don't know where his shoes went. Anyways, he went to a secondhand shop, bought the kid a pair of runners, and they fit somewhat, but because he didn't know the guy's size. And yeah, and got him some wipes and something to eat and a little, emergency pack and stuff like that. Understanding the reason why I brought that up, because they brought up about safe place for drug people using drugs, because I mean, when you live on the streets, you're going to use drugs. I mean, it's hell. So anyways, a safe place, and what people what their response was, right? And he wanted people to come out and pause, don't start like picking on people. And it's sort of like, made me think of my eldest son. I haven't heard from him since 2021. Um, does he have a safe place? Is there something like that? And the thing is that when you think about it, and he put it in a way, he put it in such a way that um, you can't make anybody get off drugs or alcohol. You can't force them. If they're going, they have to be willing to take that step, right? But until they're willing to take that step, to be having them to have somewhat of a safe place, a safe haven. And from that safe haven, that then they are able to make the choice that they want to create the change, want to make the change, want to get off the streets and move into a new direction. But things have to be in place to do that. And this is where we're going to go back up to um, the governments or big pharma and things like that, where they don't want to implement things like that, because they'd rather see things decay and fall apart. So then now you're afraid to leave your house to do things. So who are you going to rely on, right? And here we have this energy, especially with, we're going to go back to Saturn, and not Saturn. Saturn's there too. He's doing his thing. But going back to Jupiter and um, Venus, the two benefics squaring off, right? Well, it's got to be done this way. It's got to be done that way. No, we got to go this way. And here we have this other energy that wants to come in and say, no, we got to come into our higher spiritual self and make something that's sustainable to be able to help and educate and go where the trauma is, because the trauma is the trigger of what has happened to our society. When we go back and look at what the trauma is, what is the trauma of our society? Well, they started a lot of trauma with people back in 2020, and if not before, right? Doing different things, saying the key words that are going to trigger you and trigger your trauma in order for you to fall into place and do the things that you need to be, that they want you to do. So it's so important for us to really pay attention. Pay attention to what is being said. How is that coming into you? How is that making you feel? Taking that effect of how that's making you feel. Being aware of your feelings, how this is coming into your heart, like this morning, why am I anxious? What's going on? What is making me feel anxious? Why am I feeling overwhelmed today? What do I got to do? I got to do some breaths. I got to get outside. I got to get reconnected with nature. What else is going on? Okay, I know there's a lot of worries that are happening that right now I can't control. It's like there's a lot of things out there that, trying to create something or do whatever it is, I can't control that right now. I have to put a lot of trust and faith that new doors are opening and continue on that journey, and not get overwhelmed or triggered with a lot of the trauma that's trying to infiltrate our lives at this time, and to get you to fall for a false narrative. Sun opposing Neptune. Neptune wants to lead you into some crazy fucked up dream. He does that. Or do you want to come back in and saying, okay, yeah, I want to fill my heart. I want to come into the calm and the peaceness of what Virgo wants to show me, because I've planted seeds. And this new moon wasn't so much about planting seeds, it wasn't about planting seeds. It was about fostering the seeds that you've already planted and seeing what is being sprouted at this time, in order for everything for you to start to really cultivate the foundation of what you are wanting to create in your world. So I said I was going to pull cards, and then I get off on a tangent. But it's really, wanting to come into your softness, wanting to come in where you don't want to go into the dark or the sinister. That's not where you want to focus. You want to come into the uplifting and the creativity of your own soul and bring that creativity in. So on that note, yeah, baby. Whew. What do we have today? Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. Things are moving. Things are changing. Now, if you look at the Wheel of Fortune has each of these are fixed signs. So to have things change, that means it's going to be quite a dramatic change. It's going to be something that is big. So there's a big switch, a big change that's coming, because fixed signs just don't change, right? A Scorpio is just not going to change. A Taurus isn't going to change. A Leo's not going to change. An Aquarius is not just going to change. There has to be a shifting. So there's a shifting of energy that's coming in, that's bringing in a newness, a new type of vibration. And that is getting things to really shake up and move. And as we're moving it, don't want to get caught. Don't want to get caught in the don't want to get caught in the craziness. Don't want to get caught in the matrix. Let's call it the matrix. We don't want to get caught in the center of the matrix and saying, "Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm not able to do this." There's always a way. There's always a way. But sometimes beliefs and fear block us from moving into that new direction or moving out of that direction, and that's what we saw in the past few years. People said, well, I have to do this, I have to do this. And I'm just you know if you really want to make a change, you will. Like, there's so much that gets triggered within people that they get stuck and they don't want to move, or they're fearful of that move, of what that means, because they don't know what it looks like. And that brings them into that, stuck into that trauma, because I know this. If I know this, then I can hang on to it. If I hang on to this, then I'm going to be okay, at least for today, at least for this moment. And here's this energy that wants to create a change and saying, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck into the drama. Don't get stuck into the illusions of what is being portrayed into this world right now, because there's other ways of getting out of it. There's other ways of creating it and creating something. And sometimes in doing that, others will deem it as wrong. Others will deem it as, to you, they will call it evil. Okay. It's like, it's to them, it's immoral, right? But you're looking at it and it's like, no, it's not. It's not. This is what I know is true to me. Like, I'm trying to think of that site. It tells you I don't go to the site. But anyways, where you can make a hell of a lot of money, but there's a lot of things that go on this site that some may deem immoral. But I have known clients who are on that site who make a hell of a lot of money by just showing their feet. And others will say that's immoral. But for them, that was a way of getting out in order for them to do something else. And a lot of them have done that. A lot of them have done that. And you don't want to stick into always having to fight this battle. This is what I feel. It's like there's a battle always being fought, but it's like you don't have to stay there. Like this, the nine of wands is like, yeah, I've reached it, but there's wounds, and you don't want to get stuck in those wounds. You don't want to get stuck in this vibration of the matrix because of this new energy that's coming in, that's breaking things down. And sometimes as it's being broken down, or this newness that is moving, so you got to think, you got to, look at when, if you know a fixed sign, if you know somebody who's a Leo, a Scorpio, a Taurus, or an Aquarius, those are signs that aren't going, you're not going to just go into a Taurus's house and say, hey, we're going now. You got to have somewhat of a plan. They're just not going to go and move just because you say, let's go and move. Same with the Leo. This Leo's like, okay, that's just, not my thing. I'm not going to go in there. This is not where I'm going. I want to go somewhere where I can shine. I can be who I want to be. Right. I'm not going to dim my light. Scorpios are just like, who the fuck are you to tell me to come out of my house? Right. Aquariuses are like very, I'm going to say self-centered, but very egotistical, and can be very like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? That's just totally wrong. That's not the way I think. That's not the people I want to be with. That's not the vibration I like. So when things start to tingle and things start to go, and you get to that point, but you can't sit there and continually saying, oh, woe, and be the victim of it. You gotta say, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is OnlyFans. That's what it's called. Sorry. It popped in my head. But this is where, coming into that movement of where you want to go and what that looks like and how you want to create it. And here's one of the hardest cards, I think is one of the hardest cards, is the Moon card. Because the Moon card comes in and it plays on the subconscious. It plays on a part of you in a deepness that sometimes you don't really want to look at. The energy of the lobster coming in is the energy of the subconscious. So are you getting caught in the darkness of the subconscious? As we're into this waxing energy, this waxing moon that's coming, that's in right now, are we getting lost into a place that is entrapment, that we're being trapped into, instead of knowing that there's something new that's moving us? We're going to get through it, but we can't stay and get caught into it. So there's 3 major arcana cards that are coming in, and they are the movement. They're the ones that saying we have to take this movement, we have to take this energy and go into a new way, whatever that looks like for your own self. However that looks like for you to do what you need to do, and trusting in the intuition. Holy shit. Got to trust in that intuition. You're not going to see everything. I mean, she holds the Torah very close. She holds the secrets very close. But you got to trust in the knowledge. There's a knowledge there. There's a wisdom that you have. You got to trust in that. That's going to lead you to where? To a new road. It's going to lead you somewhere. It's going to lead you to somewhere new. And it's going to bring something of substance to you because it's the Ace of Pentacles, but it's going to be new. It's going to be unknown. You're not going to know it all, but you can't freak out because you don't have the full picture. It is in that trusting of the inner knowingness, that trusting of the wisdom that you do, that innate wisdom that you do have, and not falling back into the craziness of the matrix, of the world, and making you stuck or making you feel like you're stuck. And then you become the victim of your own self. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. And it's a wake-up call, I think that, as we are heading into this last quarter and 2024 is not going to be an easy route. 2024 is where big bombs are going to start dropping and things are going to start getting really squirrely. And this is where it's like, holy fuck, okay. Let me do the work I need to do now. Just like everything I try to prepare people from 2019. And some people are saying, well, that's fine. It is looking at preparing. And it's funny today, I was thinking, oh my God, you know what? Where's my propane barbecue? Where's the battery with the inverter to plug my fridge in? Those are crazy thoughts that I had today, and I'm just like, okay, these are things they're trying to tell me. There's something there I have to prepare for. And if they don't happen, at least you got the extra, at least you have it. We've always been people who prepare for the winter, prepare for, things when things get a little bit rough, right? And putting a little bit aside. But we were for the past since the 80s, even though part of the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, there's been ups and downs, and even 2008, when everything collapsed. And then we came into a time of saying, oh, well, it's okay. We can just, everything's going to get fixed. Everything's going to get fixed. Somebody is going to fix it. That's you. That's not somebody. That's you. That's you who's going to fix it. And that's me who's going to fix it. Nobody else. So don't worry about what the other people are thinking. Don't worry that, oh, fuck, I'm going to step on their toes. Or, what if I do this? So what if you do it? What happens? Right? You got to do what you need to do and stand in your strength and your light, because that's going to help you to get through the movements that are coming in. Blessings to you all. Sending you out so much blessings and love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you do. Keep on motoring on. Keep motoring on like you motor on, everybody. God bless and the Goddess bless you. Have a great day. Get out in nature. Get outside now.